So I think we'll go ahead and get started. And this is the second meeting on Nasadeeya Sukta. We'll just see how time unfolds, and that may affect then how the time is used in future rooms. But we're continuing to plan to generally, but not always, have rooms here on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. IST, because we're going to be starting a new Upanishad. There may be some break in there to have a break for a week or so between after Nasadeeya. And just so people know, the Dropbox above, you don't have to have the app to migrate in and even download the PDF that Bindaji created. And it's really powerful and meaningful to have the layout that he created, where we begin to see what the word meanings are, but then they're actually, translated into English in one way. I would say that they might be translated. So we're glad that we're all together. We'll turn off hand raising and chat during the class, and then we'll open it again for questions. And most especially, thank you, Bindaji, for giving us the opportunity to be with you and gain from what you're sharing. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Patricia. Thank you. नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करम् शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवम् बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। हरि ओम्।
नासदासीत् तदानीम् नासीद्रजोनो व्योमा परो यत् किमावरेव कुहकस्य शर्मन् अम्बक्किमासीत् गहनम् गभीरम् न मृत्युरमृतम् तर्हिणा रात्र्या अग्न आसीत् प्रकेतः आनीतवातग्स्वहयातदेकम् तस्मात्तान्यनः परः किञ्चनासा तम आसीत् तमसा गूढमग्रे प्रकेतम् सलिलपुम् सर्वमाहितम् तुच्छेनाभवितं यदासीत् तमसस्तन्महिना जायतैकम् कामस्तदग्रे समवर्तताधि मनसोरेत प्रथमै यदासीत् सतो बन्धुमसति निरविन्दन् हृदि प्रदेश्या कवयो मनीषा तिरश्चेनो विततो रश्मिरेषाम् अधस्विदासीत् उपरिस्विदासीत् प्रेतोदा आसन् महिमान आसन् स्वधा आस्तात् प्रयति परस्तात् को अद्धा वेदक इह प्रवोचत् कुत आजाता कुतैयम् विसृष्टिः अर्वा देवा अस्य विसर्जनाय अथा को वेदयत बभूव इयम् विसृष्टिर्यत बभूव यदि वादते यदि वारा यो अस्याध्यक्षः परमे व्योमन् सो अङ्गवेद यदि वानवेद ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
So we saw yesterday, in the last class, the first mantra of Nasadeeya Suktam, which gave us an idea as to what the 7 mantras are going to be like. Na asad asid, no sat asid, tadanim na asid rajha, no vyoma parvoyat, kimavari vakkuhakasya sharman, amba kimasid gahanam gaviram. So, tadanim means at the time when time itself was not there, but the rishi is forced to use, because he is talking about something where time has come into existence. So before the time came into existence, he cannot explain it sitting within the realm of time. Therefore, he has to use the word tadanim. Tadanim means then, before creation. So even before, after, all these are all related to time. So before creation, asat na asid, the non-existence did not exist. Now, is it only it was when you say the non-existence did not exist, does it mean that existence was without in the form of creation? No. The Rishi says that Sat na asid, even the Sat was not there. So when you have Sat and Asat both being not there, then it will be termed as Asat Sadasat Vilakshanam, which is the definition for Maya or illusion. So the question can come, was it in the form of illusion that the creation was not there, or was I deluded that there is no creation? A question can come. I am thinking it openly, and this is not my definition of the mantra. I am making it as brain teasers for all of you to think, because this essence of these 7 mantras can be felt only by those individuals who can dive deep into within themselves and feel the same introspection or esoteric feeling what the Rishi felt. That there is no other way. So that is why I am telling these things as a brain teasers. Don't take it as a guidance for you to think in that direction. No. You have to have your own definition or your own method in which you feel the meaning of these mantras. So when it is neither Sat nor Asat, then it can be Sad Asat Vilakshanam, which is the definition for delusion or Maya. So will it be that Tadanim, was it in the clutches of Maya that the creation has merged back into the Mula Avidya or root cause of ignorance or delusion? That is to be thought about. We have to think whether these creations are real, unreal, or in the adhyasa. All those terms have to come into your mind, because we have been studying all the Upanishads with different meanings and applications in the terms of the Upanishadic meanings. So we have to arrive at our own meaning. So Tadanim asat na asid, sat na asid. Both sat and asat were there, not there. Na asid vyoma. Even the space. Vyoma here it is antariksha or space. Vyoma na asid. So Tadanim was not, Tadanim, sat and asat was not there, and vyoma was not there. So neither the time and the space itself Both time and space did not exist at that time. Yat paraha, whatever is beyond time and space, how do we define that? Kim avariva, what did that one which existed beyond the time and space get covered with? Avariva means covered. Kim avariva. Did it get that we do not know it? Is it that it is covered by something? Because we say that we are not knowing the truth, that we are all Atma or Brahman because we are all covered with ignorance. Avidya, due to avidya or maya, we are all covered. That is why we are not able to see, or we are not able to know the Brahman or Atma. Is it that Kimavariva was there any cover to that from which the whole creation came before the time and space came into existence? Is it that way we have to take it? Kuhakasya Sharman, where and why, or where and how, or where and whose. Sharman means here we can say as joys and sorrows, or we can even, we can even consider that Sharman, the word Sharman as a particular aspect which is called comfort. The joy and sorrow is some sort of a feeling where people get comfort with. There are people who are getting comfort or solace with happiness. Some people have higher happiness. So lesser happiness is sorrow. So don't define that way. But Sharman, the meaning has got different meaning like shelter, protection, comfort, joy and sorrow. These are different meanings available in Sanskrit. So for whom or where did or whose comfort or protection or shelter was the covering that creation had to be kept away from the experiential world? Or was there somebody available there for experiencing it? Kuha karma kasya sharman. Amba kimasit gahanam gabiram. This gahanam gabiram, this deep and, mystery or mysterious. Gabiram can be mysterious also. The deep mysterious waters, Amba means waters, or, power, it can be power or fruitfulness, or, these are different meanings for that. What was that? What is that state in which one can define as the state of creation before time and space came into existence? So here, if you look at it, the way in which the traditional meaning is given is very simple, because they are considering Maya, they are considering the Pralaya, Mahapralaya, or after the end of the Kalpa. Means after each Kalpa, the whole world is taken aback by the Creator. And Ishvara with Maya, he is the one which is projecting the creating again in the next Kalpa, based on the jivas, their karmas and karma phalas and devas and devalokas and all the lokas, etc., etc. So that is the traditional way in which they would look at it. But when the rishi is doing the Vishwadeva Yajna, prior to this soliloquy or into the meditation which he is pushed into, he was in the form of an act of kriya or karma. Stopping the karma there, he is now thinking, why am I doing this? Or is there any, if I do all those things, Vishwadeva Puja, all those things, Will I go back and get back into creation again, as whether there will be birth and death again? Or these are all the thoughts which can come normally to people who are doing these rituals. So he starts with this question, what is the creation? And after that, he goes towards the second mantra. Na mrityu asid, amrutam na tarhi. Na ratriya hanna asid praketah. Anitavadam swadaya tadekam. Tasmadhanya param kinjanasa. Na mrityu asid na amrutam. So here also he is using another term for time. Tarhi. Tarhi means actually thereafter. Therefore. These are the traditional Sanskrit meaning for it. But it can also meaning then. So tarhi na mrityu asit amritam na. So here, there, when the time and space and the continuation of creation has not taken place, that primordial stage where the creation is about to take place. What is that state? Did Mrityu existed or did Amritam exist? Amritam here is na mritams. It is deathlessness. Mrityu can be Mrityu Devata as per the traditional meaning, or Mrityu means destruction or death. Opposite of that is Amritam, where there is no death or destruction. So neither the death or destruction nor their absence, its absence, is the state in Tarhi, in that state. And to say that even the time did not exist, the Rishi is using two terms. Ratriya Ahna. Ratri means night, Ahna means day. Neither did day and night exist. So, totally imagine a state where you don't experience day and night, where you don't experience or you don't have a knowledge of death or deathlessness. Asid praketah. Now, praketah, we have seen this word before, is appearance or feeling or, expression. So, na asid praketah. There were no form of expression also. Na ratriya, na annaha, na praketa asid. That is how you have to understand that. Neither the time of day and night existed, nor their expressions. The expressions of what? Night and day. That means any form of the intervening time like three sandhyas. That sandhyas, the intervening period of day and night. They were also not there. So there's no way you can say that we can have a sense of time in that state of primordial state where the creation had not taken. Then comes Ani Davadam Sudaya Tad. Now here, Tat is a common name for indicating that primordial stage, or that whatever existed at that primordial stage is indicated by the word Tat. Tat Anit Avadam Sudaya. Sudaya Avadam Anit. That Sudaya means by its own will or by its own power or its own desire or its own imagination. Whatever this is the Dhi is the word. It can be your Dhaya. It can Sudaya means it can be power, Maya, or willpower, imagination. All those things can. Avatam means without air. Vatam means air. Avatam means without air. With its own willpower, its own imagination, its own maya, or its own willpower. Anit means breath. It took breath, or it started breathing, or it is breathing. Anit is a continuous thing. So Anit Avatam, without air it breathes. Sudaya, with its imagination or willpower or maya. Tad, that which existed before the creation. Tasmad, therefore, since it existed, Asid is the word used always. Na Sat Asid, na Asat Asid, all the places you will find Asid being used. Here also they use na Ratriya, na Hanna, Prakayata Asid, na Mrityu Asid, na Amritam Asid. Tad Swadaya Avatam Anit. Anit is not Asid. That is different. Anit is existed, whereas Anit is breath. That is breathing or breath. Tasma, therefore, ha means indeed. Ha. So ha should be put before that. Ha tasmat anyat na para kinjana asa. Asa means asid again. Kinchana, whatsoever. Anything what can be brought into our imagination, notion, ideation, or any words, mind, thoughts, you take anything that kinchana can mean any of that. And paraha means extreme or supreme or beyond. Anyat, whatever you want to say. Kinjana, anyat is total negation. Anyat means separate. Kinchana means anything other than that. So, indeed, tasmat, paraha anyat kinjana na asid, na asa. Asa means asid again. So, nothing existed there, which can be imagined. Ishvara existed, Brahman existed, Atma existed, or, any sort of existence before creation. From, where the creation can come up, it's a primordial seed or the spot from where the Big Bang took place. Anything which you say, na anyat kinchana para asid. There will nothing existed at that stage. So it is a total negation of. So definitely the mind can go into nihilism or shunyata. So one should understand that we are not talking about shunyata. Asid means existed. So shunyata existed. So the existence is the nature of shunyata. This, keep it in mind, because when we go to the third mantra, this state of na anyat para kinjana asid will come in handy to understand the third mantra. Let us look what Griffith translated this mantra as. Death was not then, nor was there thought, immortal. No sign was there, the days and nights divider. That one thing, breathless, breathed by its own nature, apart from it, was nothing whatsoever. That is the translation of Griffith in the earlier period. But if you go by Sayanacharya's commentary and Subodhananda's commentary, which I put it in my PDF, it says that then at the time of dissolution, Pralaya, there was no death, the destroying entity, Yamaha or Kalaha or death as a god of death. There was no deathlessness. The absence of the death also was not there, or continuance of living beings. When death is not there, there should be continuity of living. So that also was not there. day and night were not perceived because there was no sun and nor moon. So to experience sun and moon, that is the day and night, we need sun and the moon. So there was no sun and the moon, and therefore there was no day and night. There he says, Brahman breathed without air. That Brahman was indivisibly one with Maya. That he has taken the word Swadaya means Maya. That Brahman indivisibly one with Maya means the Ishvara aspect of Brahman. Brahman with Maya is the Ishvara form. So even that was not there. So that Brahman indivisibly one with Maya means the Maya is merged into Ishvara and has become Brahman at that time. Certainly, none of the 5 great elements or elemental that were present after creation had emerged from Brahman, conditioned by Maya. Means the creation has not taken place. That is for the Anya Kinjana Para, is this it. So this traditional meaning, it is more from the point of view of continuation from the previous chapter, where the Vishwadevas are being taken for the Karmakanda. So this makes sense when Sayanacharya made the commentary, or which is being translated or used even today for this purpose. There is nothing wrong in it. But thinking from the point of the Rishi who is uttering these words, he is not obviously in touch with his surroundings. It was what was running in his mind, or he was in a mystical world where his soliloquy was a rant of a mysterious entity. I can't even call him Rishi as a individual there, because he says na kinchana asid. He didn't feel his own existence at that place, at that time, when he's experiencing that what was before creation. So from that point of view, we have to understand that these mantras have to be felt by each one of us in our own bosom by diving deep into the place where you can imagine a situation. What I normally call is, don't call it as deep sleep, but that state from where the world of experiences of Jagrat Swapnam, the world of both the waking and dream, before it becomes a reality, what is our state is something which we need to delve. As a waker, we may name it, put it in as a deep sleeper, and we had avidya there. All those are prakriyas or methodology of, avastatraya nirupanam. But let us not go into avastatraya nirupanam or the analysis of the 3 states. What would have been there is no I also. There is no me or anything which can be uttered in the form of words, day, night, space, time, or the worlds of experiences, the fields of experiences, the objects. Nothing of that sort existed. And from there, the creation takes place in the form of the world as day and night, where I experience myself as an individual with indriyas, the Panchakosha Viveka, or the Sharira Traya, the Sula Sushma Karana Sharira. All those things are all analysis which is being done at a later stage. But before I become that, what is my state? Am I having the same feeling what this Rishi is feeling? Whether am I able to understand what the Rishi is telling here? Can I transport myself, or can I have that space, what the Rishi is indicating, which is within or within my own experience, when I do away with all sorts of dualities and experiences and mind, all those things, the individuality, the mind, everything goes for it, because they are all which comes within the names and forms and experiences. Before my experiences start, how is my state? Each one of us have to ask this question to ourselves. With this in mind, let us see how the third mantra is uncovering itself. Tama asit tamasa guham agre apraketam salilam sarvam idam tuchena abu apihitam yat asit tapasa tat mahina ajayata ekam. Tama asit tamasa guhanam gudam. Agre, here is one more word which is used to indicate the time. The first mantra we had tadanim. In the second mantra we had tarhi. The third mantra he says the word agre, means before. Before means he is saying before the whole creation, whole world of experiences comes into being or expressing itself. Tamaha asid. Tamas means darkness. Traditionally, tamaha means can be ignorance. But it is darkness here. Why? Gurham tamasa. Pitch darkness. Gurham means extremely thick. Tamasa means darkness. Tama asid, the entity of dark existed. Agre means before the world of creation comes up, or before the expression of creation comes into being. Apraketam. Praketam means to express, to show itself, or to divulge itself, or to make oneself available, recognizable, or distinguishable. So here, apraketam means unrecognizable or undistinguished. This darkness, which is pitch darkness, or the darkness which is in its entirety, where nothing, even the darkness itself cannot be differentiated from the darkness. That is such sort of a darkness is called Ghudam Tamasa Tama Asid. Apraketam Salilam Sarvam Aidam. Sarvam, everything, idam, in this darkness. There are two words which are used here. One is aha. Ah means it can be asid. Or if it is mere aha, then it is all around. Mean showing as the in the vicinity or in that darkness. Sarvam existed in that mass of darkness. Salilam means actually water. But when we say that Salilam of Tama means it becomes the thick, dark waters. Imagine yourself not in water, but in a dark pitch like crude oil or something which is very dark, where you can't even open your eyes. or in a deep forest. You do not know you are in a forest, but you have got all the trees which different names and forms available there, undistinguishable. You cannot distinguish any tree separately because the darkness, Gudam tamasa gudam tama asi, appraketam, without in a position to distinguish itself either from the trees or from the objects which are there available. This pitch of darkness, everything existed. So do you mean to say the entire world was very much there, like how we go to deep sleep? The whole world is existing, but we are in a darkness where we don't see anything of the world, including our own body and the individuality and the ego and everything. Is it something similar? Are we in a state of what you call darkness, or what you call nakinjana avedisham? I knew nothing when you can say that. And the moment a light comes in that pitch darkness, instantaneously all the trees and the bushes and the animals in that forest becomes visible in that light. Same way, the moment the awaken, when we become awakened into the waking or the dream, all the world in the waking or the dream becomes instantaneously visible to us, experiential to us. So all this in the pitch darkness of that tamas was present but not distinguishable, not recognizable. Tuchena abu abhihitam yad asit. Yad asit. That whatever existed, whatever yad kimapi asit, tad tuchena abu abhihitam. Tucha means insignificant, emptiness, void. There are different meanings for tucha. Abhu means, actually speaking, abhu means it is the real meaning of abu is the one which is beyond what you call the Sanskrit meaning is asamantad. Asamantad bhavitam. That is, it remains what you call asamantad means endlessly, or whatever may be the limit we can think. Until that, whatever exists is called abu. So let us now say the visible universe, what we say, what we talk about. That visible universe, whether it is through the telescope or whether through any of the formats which we want, any of the equipments which we see, that the visible universe is what is, you can incorporate in the word abu. Yet abu tuchena abhihitam asid. This pitch darkness engulfed, or abhihitam means covered, the whole forest. I'm taking the forest example for the understanding purpose. Don't think that is the meaning here. It is an example which I'm taking. In the darkness, pitch darkness in the forest, at the middle of a new moon night, where you can't even see the light of a firefly, it is also not there. Even that firefly is also not lighting anything. That darkness And all the things which can otherwise exist in the forest, all the animals, the trees, the mountain, the river, the insects, everything you can say that is Abu, is covered by what? Tuchena, with an insignificant darkness. Why that darkness is called insignificant? Because it is neither tangible, neither a vastu or an object which can be removed. It is the absence of light. So, that absence of light, can absence be a thing which can be taken into seriousness? The absence can be nullified by the presence of the antidote for it, the light. So, now comes from where the creation can come, because whatever is being covered before creation is tucham or insignificant. It is in the form of darkness. The pitchness of the darkness, which is unimaginable, like depth of an ocean. And it has covered not only itself, it has covered everything. Tad, ekam, that was only one thing. It is called darkness. But was it darkness covered by darkness? No. Tat ekam tapasa mahina ajayata. The word tapasa has got very deep meaning. It is not the tapas what we all normally take it as austerity or the method in which, the rishis of the yore did for appeasing gods or things like that. The word tapasa has to be taken as the will or the contemplation, or the other word which we are familiar with is that tad aikshata. Aikshata means ichhata, ichha, aiksha. All tapasa, all these things have got the same, they are all very closely related words. Here tapas of that entity before creation willed, aikshata, bahusyam prajayeti, let me become many, or loka nisrajayeti, let me create the world, or let me, all those desire to create or desire to become many or desire or these are all in the form of contemplation. It is not that he created them with material causes and intelligent cause to become different things, because sa ekaha. So that was alone, that was in the form of unity or non-duality in that state. In this, the moment I use the non-duality, there will be people who will coming with the sword and knife to attack me. Don't please. I'm not talking about the non-duality of Advaita. I'm talking about the absence of second thing in this state of prior to creation. Tat ekam, the mantra itself says, Tat ekam, that which is identified with this tamas or with this state of primordial nature. Tapasa mahina ajayata. From the willpower or from the desire or from the contemplation of that entity, because there was nothing else. Na kinchana asa. There was nothing else other than that. That willed, and therefore by its own glory, ajayata, was born. What? That we'll have to see the fourth mantra for that. So before going that, let me read the other two meanings given in the traditional thing by Sayanacharya's thing is that in the state of dissolution before creation, the entire Jagat was completely covered by the darkness of self-ignorance or Maya. The manifest Jagat was in the form of darkness of self-ignorance. Though the covering principle, the self-ignorance, was distinct from the covered Jagat, their distinction was unknown in that state. This entire perceptible Jagat was inseparable from its cause, or the entire Jagat was not known, like how the water and milk cannot be known separately when they are mixed. That very Jagat was completely covered by the self-ignorance, which is insignificant in nature. Even though identified with its cause of self-ignorance, was born the glory of Ishvara's contemplation on the Jagat and on the Jagat to be created. So here he says that the self-ignorance becomes the cause for the glory of Ishvara. That means to become the glory of Ishvara means Maya. On the Jagat to be created, that Maya creates the Jagat. That is how the traditional meaning is there. Whereas the Griffith in his meaning says darkness was there was at first concealed in darkness. All this was in indiscriminated chaos. All that existed then was void and formless. By the great power of warmth was born that unit. This is how the Griffith has commented upon it. Do we go to the fourth mantra? I don't think I can do that. If I do start the fourth, then it will go to beyond that. Okay, I'll stop here.
Yeah, let's take it easy, Bindu. Just give an open to have people discuss it.
Kasya Sharmanna Ambakkimasit Kahanam Gabhiram Navrutyuramrutam Tarhina Ratriya Agnasit Praketaha Anitavatakaswadayatadekam Tasmatanyana Parakkincanasa Tamasit Tamasa Gudhamagre Praketam Salilagum Sarvamahidam Tuchena Vabhitayyadasid Tamasastan Mahirajayataikam Kamastadagre Samavartatati Manasore Prathamayyadasid Sato bandhu vasati niravindan Pradip pradeshya kavayo manisha Tirastino vitato rashmiresha Adhasvidasi Duparisvidasi Retodha asan mahimana asan Svadha astat prayatit parastat Ko adha vedakaya pravochat Kuta ajata kutayam visrushtihi Arva eva asya visarjanaya Athako vedayata babhuva Iyam visrushtiryata babhuva Yadi vadate yadi vana Yo asyachaksha parame vyoman So anga veda yadi vana veda Om Shanti Shanti.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyawada.
Thank you so much, Binduji. That was, I was almost so happy listening that I couldn't stand it. So the chat is open. The hand raising is open. If people would like to discuss Nasadeeya Sukta with Binduji, they can come up. Raise your hand. Don't be shy. People have been talking about this all week since the last class, and I think there's probably valuable things to be spoken about. So we'll give a moment to see who would really love to come up.
Namaste, Binduji. How are you? Namaste, Artificial
Namaste,
Life.
Yash.
Namaste.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Wanted to ask this question that in the last, like just before this which was being sung, you said that Griffith defined it as this whole universe or whatever, this wholeness emerging from the darkness. And the other interpretation was that which emerged from the Maya. Now, I'm not going to say if there could so we can either think and contemplate about if there was if things were just happening in random or there was an intelligent cause or whichever way, but the question what I have in mind is how could having this, even the thought of if Maya could have created this all, then if invoking by saying that if we invoke there is an intelligent cause and it was not just randomness, how could that question help us? In what way? If even if we use that as a case or a cause knowing about us. So would you shed some light on this way of thinking? I'm not going to say that there could be an intelligent cause, but I'm saying that if we assume not just if we assume both the cases, one is randomness and one is intelligent cause, and if we go in both the directions, how would at both the directions would help me to attain or understand myself of who am I? How could we use that case study as?
If you are studying as randomness or through Maya, you will never know who you are. You have to find out how does it matter to you. That is why I use the example of from the deep sleep when the world comes up. What was your state and how did you create the world? Just before the waking happens, what was your state or what is that you were? I can't even say experience or what you can, this is something which has to be felt within your bosom, and any amount of bringing words will fall short of what you want to explain it. Or you try to do that and see whether you are able to succeed that. Because when the meaning like Sayanacharya or Griffith or anybody for that matter is giving, they are doing it like you are talking about the intelligent cause, the traditional Maya principle or ignorant principle, avidya. All those things are the standard methods in which it has to be explained. But here is a set of mantras from the Rishi who is not going to go into these definitions, but wants to find out the cause for the creation, or at least know the reason for his experience of creation, where everything, the multitude is being experienced by himself. What did they all really come up, or was there, if there is any real experience? For me, experience is starting with my waking. So for me to call that as an experiential world, where were I before my experiential world started has to be analyzed. Whether I remember it or it is not a today's tomorrow's thing. It is right from the womb onwards you have to think about it. Like the Vamadeva of Aitareya Upanishad, what I started uttering. Or this is where I've been saying that when we depend upon words of Vedas, Upanishad, or any teacher or anything, we should not be dependent upon them. It should set you free. The freedom what you want to achieve is what you will know when you know who you are. Yajnavalkya tells to Janaka, Abhayam Praptosi, you have reached the ultimate of freedom. After having told whatever has to be told, he said that is the freedom. It is neither Sat Chit Ananda, nothing, he used any of the words. He simply said that you are in a state of freedom. That freedomness or freedom, I can't use the freedomness, it's a wrong English, but for want of a word, that state of being freedom. Neither the notion, nor the names and forms, nor the imagination, nor technicalities of definitions, none of them are binding you. You are in your own pristine state. That is what you have to reach or find out yourself. No amount of Upanishad, Vedas, or reading hundreds and thousands of commentaries written on Nasadeeya Suktam will take you there. No, they will all be technical. I am finding it myself that I told you, it is very difficult to find out the right meaning because I still not have come to a conclusion as what should be my conclusion. Even though I am ranting when I am making the statements while explaining that. Have I come to a conclusion? I can definitely say I have not yet. We have to arrive at. That can be done by the individual only. So whether it is randomness or Maya, it is not what that is important.
Yash, is that enough? Bindu, I'm not sure that you touched on a key
Yes,
part of Yash's question, which related
but
to the
now
intelligent cause.
he did not use that part. He just, with that also, whatever he said, I'm quite satisfied. But Binduji, could we also say in the reverse way that using both the expressions, if it could be randomness also and if it could be an intelligent design also, and not just one, like some people just end up with just the one fact that it is just an intelligent design. It's like solving a question which has multi level answers, and we could use both, or we cannot, just like how you said, we don't need to even deal with these kind of questions to know our own nature. I mean,
I don't have an answer to that, Yash. If that satisfies you, then you have found the answer for yourself. But if it has not satisfied you, then you have to find out the answer within yourself.
Yes, thank you, Binduji. No,
But
your
Bindu,
answer
what
did
about
satisfy.
intelligence? What about built-in intelligence? That's the key component to his question. You have to respond to that, please.
Built-in intelligence is also an ideation or notion of after creation. Because what is intelligence is,
Okay.
it is just like anything else, Patrick. When in the pitch darkness of when primordial state, did you know yet your intelligence in your deep sleep?
But Bindu, experience can't come from nothing. That's the point that Yash is making. And that's what's so beautiful here is that it opens up this question, and it's profound. How can it not be intelligence? It's complete. It's complete without anything.
Intelligence again is a notion, Patrick. What I'm saying is that you can't call it as intelligence or ignorance. Both cannot be called.
We can't avoid this question just because we're in here and now. And of course it arises in mind. And
from here and now,
concept.
Then here and now you depend upon the commentaries which suits you the best. But that will not,
okay.
that will not take you to your own understanding of it. It will be somebody else's understanding.
Are you okay for now, Patrick? Go ahead, Yash. I think, Yash, you should lead your own question.
It's fun. Yash and I are, I think, on the same page with it, and even Bindu would be, but it's...
No, but Patrick,
of course,
I have a extra this thing in this, that how, if we assume, just for an assumption, if we take it as an assumption that if there is an intelligent cause, how that question will bring us back to the very fact to know that who am I, and will it really help me or really satisfy my this thing. We should pull back on our bases. That's the main part. We can know if there is an intelligent cause, but if that knowing could help us, that is why I asked this question. I mean, in what direction will Bindoji push it, and if we were to push it in both the cases or case scenarios, even for randomness also, how could that part will make me understand who am I? In that, I think
I will not push you to either of them, neither the intelligent cause nor to the randomness. That is why my stand was very clear. Both of them are within the what you call ideations, notions. That's why.
But we can safely assume that the cause wasn't outside. That's the point. And so if there is intelligence,
or
if there is randomness...
Patrick, answer me. What is the cause for your objects in the dream? You talk about cause and creation in the waking because you have a cause and effect theory and practice in the waking. Shift yourself into your dream and explain me the cause and effect in the dream.
There's no other cause than Brahman, but that's the point. Is that?
But where is Brahman in your dream?
Brahman is the dream.
In the dream, where is your Brahman?
No, Brahman is the dream. Brahman is the dream. There is nothing other than
that
Brahman.
That is your waker. That your waker is telling that, right?
Of course, it's the waker. How can we not invoke the waker if we're in waking?
So all the explanations of then all the explanations of the waker should be only valid for the waker. Don't extrapolate it to the dream or the deep sleep or any other conditions.
There's no waker.
This is something esoteric, Patrick. I wanted to understand that any amount of intelligence, ideation, or, analysis or technicalities will not give you that what you are looking for. Yes, it's okay?
Yes, Bindoji, 100% okay. I mean, I was going in a different direction, but I think this is not the place to be, because our focus should be on what is ahead of us and not what is behind of us. So yes, I'm very much fine with this.
Thank you.
Ganesh?
Yeah, namaste, Bindoji.
Namaste. into the mic.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
I just took down all things, all the three mantras so far discussed. My point is, in the first one, nothing was there before the creation, and everything was covered with the pitch darkness, and whatsoever that existed was, it could not be felt, or it could not even be imagined, or whatever. So this visible, the endless visible universe was covered in that pitch darkness. My question is it the assumption with which this nothingness is propagated or proposed? That universe was in the pitch darkness. Was that an assumption with which the nothingness is proposed in the first three mantras?
The universe itself was not there. In the darkness, that is why I use the example of on a new moon day, if you are in the thick forest where you cannot identify anything in that,
Even the darkness cannot be.
Even the darkness cannot be seen as darkness. You are opening or closing your eye doesn't make a difference. That is the type of situation you are in. That is exactly what we are in when we are in deep sleep also.
Yeah.
Right?
So even the mind was not there, no?
Yes. Even mind will not be there.
So afterwards, I'm just curious to know, does the creation begin with the mind?
When you woke up, did it create with the mind, or did the whole world instantaneously come up, including you and your body and the mind and intellect and everything?
No.
You have to think about it.
Yeah.
When we see the thing is, Ganesh, when we do our daily chores, when we wake up, do all those things, we don't do the pratibodha vididam madam. That means every experience we don't analyze it.
Yeah.
Have any one of us analyzed my experience when I am waking up? What is my experience? How did a deep sleeper, a person who is in deep sleep, has suddenly started experiencing the individuality and the whole world? Do we analyze that?
No.
We need to.
In that case, even the waking state is also the darkness lit upon. Is that all? Is it like that? Even there we could not identify anything in the pitch darkness. Even in the light, without analyzing, if we are going through with our chores every day, even that is also accountable for darkness itself.
What sort of darkness?
I mean, in the light also we are not analyzing, we are just going through in the wakeful state without analyzing. Could that also amount to darkness only without analysis?
No, suppose suddenly the light comes. You are seeing the different trees, bushes and everything. And when you are seeing them, actually you are not seeing them, but you are seeing them in the light of which illumines it. Actually, you are seeing the light. You are not seeing them like how you are tasting or you are, touching something like that,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Here also, when we wake up from our deep sleep, the whole world comes up as something to that entity which was in deep sleep. You cannot call it through senses the world came up. Because there are internal worlds of emotions, feelings and thoughts which is beyond sense organs. So the mind also is known to us. So that prajnanam with which we are now calling it by different names, how did it become the different names, or how did it transport themselves into experiences or beings? You have to think about it.
Yeah. Contemplation is the only means, I believe.
Yes. Avicharita samsiddham idam jarvam jagat is what Sureshwaracharya says.
Wow.
We are not doing vicharam. So the jagat, the entire jagat is when we are not doing vicharam. The moment we do vichara, the jagat, the whole world will be a different thing altogether. There is a beautiful book, Vichara Sagara, if you have
By?
heard about it.
By? Who wrote?
I don't remember the name, but it's a Sanskrit thing. Vichara Sagara, you can Google it and you'll get it.
Yeah, sure. Wonderful. Thank you, Binduji. So the takeaway point is contemplation and vichara are the only things which would take us to that whatever was there before creation.
Yes. You have to feel it. I can't say within yourself because it's neither within nor out. Na antar na bahyam. Neither it is inside nor it is outside.
Yeah. Thank you, Binduji.
Thank you, Ganesh.
Thank you very much.
Venkat.
Hari Om,
Hari Om.
Binduji, I think this is a very profound 3 verses. Binduji, just for the sake of discussion, see, Isha was a Upanishad come in the Saguna Brahma. In that, manifested Brahman, Idam Sarvam. Then the use of Vidyancha, Yastad Vedo Vaigam Saha. Similarly, Sambhutincha. It uses the contrast to deny ignorance, to recognize, Ishvara. Here, on the other end, it removes that even Sat Asat. It, dismantles anything Guna, Gunatita, Nirguna Nirakara Brahma. It is not for contemplation for every reason, either Aparoksha or Jagrata Sushupti is available. Hence, further, this verses can be recognized at the best. This is one understanding I thought I'll put forth. What intriguing is the breathless breath. It is not denying, it is not saying empty. It is alive. Just that breathless breath caught me, in all of this. This is not emptiness, Binduji. This is, at the best we can say, not emptiness. Breathless. Why would they use breathless breath otherwise? Because it is available to one's own. That Nirguna Nirakara, Saguna Sakara, both are available in one's own meditative states. That's the best I can see this way, Binduji. Thought I'll validate this with you.
Yeah, you can see the thing is that each Upanishad has, as I told earlier also, each Upanishad has got a theme and the explanations of those themes are based on the conditions under which one should understand that Upanishad words. We should not take the conditions under which the Upanishad has developed and apply it another place. Sometimes it may work, but it need not work all the time. But as you said, Ani Tavatam is the statement which you are referring to, the breathless breath of the creation before. You can't even call it as a creator, because a creator means he has to create something. That is why we all get into the nomenclature of the cause and the effect, and the creator and the intelligence. He has to have the intelligence to create, etc., etc. So when we are saying that it is all negative, it is neither Sat nor Sat, it is non-mrityu, it's not Amritam, it is the Kinchana Paraha. So, and Anidavatam. All those negating dualities is to transfer us to a state of beyond dualities. So, Vidya, Samdhudya, Sambudhi, Ishavasyam, all those things are good for Ishavasya Upanishad. This should be, even though it is not an Upanishad, the mantras are so intriguing. This is a meditative mantras. It is neither telling about Brahman, not a word of Brahman or Atman is used in the Hindi, except the word Tat. The Tat is the one which is used. Other than Tat, there is no other word used to indicate that. So we have to take it in a different level altogether, these mantras. Don't analyze it with other Upanishad mantras.
Yes, Binduji. Thank you, Binduji.
Binduji, I just wanted one more clarification. As Venkat said, when I was taking down all these things, no death, no immortality, no day nor night, all these things were exact dualities and the opposites of it. But the breath is mentioned, when the breath is being mentioned there, it's a bit tricky that it was breathing without breath. That's what it said. Isn't it, Bindoji?
Yes.
That one thing is that prompted me to think that there was something which could be that which was mentioned there.
That's what Sangat said, no?
Yeah.
It is to negate the shunyata.
Yeah. To negate shunyata, that there was something that is very firm conviction. It was breathing, but not with the breath. Isn't it?
Yeah. We have to think that way. But that the moment we bring the words like it was breathing without breath, the mind stops. This is like the Zen koans, where you, what was your face before you were born, or what is the sound of one hand clapping, etc. These are all type of questions which is saying.
This is the exact oxymoron in the
oxymoron. Yes.
Oxymoron. Okay. Thank you, Binduji.
Thank you.
Karin
if there
came up,
any...
and where did she go?
She went to a phone call. We can see if she wants to come up. I'll invite her. But then she chose not to come up. I invited her just now. If Karen comes up, she can have it. Otherwise, I'll have something. I don't see her coming up. She had a phone call though that came up.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to share a few things that are coming up for me, or how I see the discussions, because I think it's very important. And, and then see how you respond to me, Binduji. Kind of like Venkat does sometimes, just sharing his stance and then seeing what you'll say. So, I feel like repeatedly, you're pointing out something that, Nitya pointed out in the chat in the first class on Nasadeeya. And that was, she was very strongly pointing to the difference between mysticism and metaphysics. And, metaphysics is a part of philosophy, even in the West. It is more related to models of how things work or strict rules on how we come to truth, and whether it's ontological or epistemological. But mysticism is really, in my view, although we haven't elaborated it in these rooms, mysticism is something very different. It really doesn't even fit under what most people, even in the East, might really call philosophy. And I feel like that's what this is pointing to. We're having the opportunity to go further than just the apparent versus indicated meanings like you were speaking of in the last Upanishad that we have to really watch for. But even though Upanishads do have elements of mysticism in them, to me, this Nasadeeya, it's very much mystical. And when you said today, you said, I think your words were, before any experiences, what is my state? You made that comment in response to someone's question to you. I feel like that's something mystical. And you've also talked about, not just hearing what the rishis are saying in something like Nasadeeya, but that we're trying to be led to that experience. And to me, when we start trying to actually analyze the meaning of something like this, or think that this is a metaphysics of how the universe came to be in the same sense that like the Big Bang is a scientific theory, I feel like we're really missing the point. Totally different words, even not talking about creation, in my view, could lead to exactly what this rishi is also trying to point to. And it's the usual tendency is to turn things into metaphysics. That's my point. And that's not what this is about. I mean, I remember a couple months ago, I was thinking about the Mahavakyas, and it really hit me. The Mahavakyas are a pointing, and even the Mahavakyas at a certain point just lose, how can I say this respectfully? Their purpose has been served. Repeating and sticking on a Mahavakya forever means that the pointing hasn't served its purpose. So, as you said also today, this looking internally is to set us free, and that's really my point. The difference between metaphysics and mysticism, and I feel sad when I hear people analyzing these things literally. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, Timishia. See, mysticism is a different cup of tea altogether. You cannot compare it with the metaphysics. Metaphysics have got more. It may be sounding what you call, ununderstandable in the ordinary sense, because normal logic will fail there. But it has got an order, whereas mysticism has no order, no conditions. It just happens. And when it happens, even the person who goes through the mystical experience will be unaware of or unexpecting such a thing to happen. That is, whereas in metaphysics, it's more of intellectual thing, where you develop it over a period or with a stage by stage, and then you come to the boundaries of ordinary logic. But that is not the case with mysticism. Mysticism is personal. It can never be discussed. There is no rhyme or reason why such a thing can be even, experienced by somebody, but it happens. Whether we like it or not, it happens.
How do you see them, like this discussion? I'm a little bit confused, but what's the difference then in the sense of the Upanishads are mysticism or metaphysics, or neither?
I will categorize them more towards metaphysical rather than mysticism.
Binduji, just one broad observation. So if there is no aparoksha anubhuti, or I call it, for this Nasadeeya Suktam, that Jagrata Sushupti available what will happen is it will lead to wild imagination and contemplation. So how do you see this overall when the setting has this kind of diverse, you know, um, background for the Nasadeeya Sukta to be digested? If that,
Yeah,
if these are not there, how do you see this, Pinojay? Just a broad ask.
yeah. That is why the wild imaginations are broken down or totally annihilated by refuting all thoughts of dualities which you can think. Sat, Asat, all those type of things which are will take you by analysis. The moment you think in wild imagination, can you categorize them in, or can you put in a pigeonhole any of these categories? Space, time, existence, non-existence, day, night, darkness, light, intelligence, ignorance, Maya, Ishvara, all those things, names you can take it and pigeonhole them. And imagination, if it fits any one of the holes, then you are not in that thing, because this is not fitting into any one of those pigeonholes. You cannot categorize them.
But the anchor has to be available, right, Pinojay? The anchor is
The,
our perception.
the anchor is when you cross over your mind. Your mind is also neti, you have to drop it.
Yeah. That anchor reference is important to solidify this. Otherwise, the negation, annihilation might lead to this emptiness, unfathomable and emptiness. Then it is like a self-suicide. I don't
But
know
where
how.
is the emptiness being talked about? Does it talk about Shunyata
No, it
anywhere?
doesn't. It
No.
doesn't. I'm just telling that
It
missing
says
anchor.
it's always saying Asit, Agre, Tarhi, Tadanim, which shows that it is something is there which is not fitting into the standard formats. Yet it is not Shunyata or nihilism. That is why the wild imagination cannot go into that area. Yes, Karin, you came up.
You're silent again. Yeah.
I think Karin gets into this problem of her phone going into.
Karen, do you wish to leave and come back, or do you wish to, we close the room and you come on Sunday? What do you want to do?
Sunday we will have the
Okay.
Q&A. I
Yeah.
think Sunday we'll have the Q&A, and then I'll continue next week the remaining Nasadeeya.
Okay. Yeah, we weren't sure. So Sunday then, come for Q&A, bring other things on this Upanishad. Karen, please come. Sorry you're having that problem. Yeah, you're totally silent. We can't hear a thing. Yeah, at least we all love each other anyway. This was really beautiful. Very important questions. Very glad Yesh hadn't been up in a long time. Anyway, Binduji, unless you have anything else, we'll close, and there will be a room here on Sunday, 8:30 p.m. IST, for any kind of Advaita Vedanta question and answer, including on this. Bindu?
No, thank you. Thank you all. I enjoy doing this. I'm doing it more for myself rather than for you all. That is my way of, the best I can explain it.
There's no one other than you.
And there is no answer. When I'm explaining this, my eyes are closed and I'm thinking. That's all. I can't even say I'm thinking. I don't know. And the words I can't explain through words.
Thank you so much. Hari Om Binduji. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you and Hari Om.